everyone, welcome back. I look really pale in this light, but you know what, it's fine. I'm totally not in my pyjamas as well, I'm just wearing like a woolly top. It's absolutely freezing today, but I cannot push myself to put on the heating. It's just not my thing, So today I am going to be showing you some new artworks that I have made and are going to be available on my Vinted. There is going to be a separate video on so you can actually get a proper look at them. At the moment there's only 2 that are actually in the frame. The others I am waiting for them to dry out before editing them. You'll see why further on in this video. But I thought I'd just quickly show you what I've been up to and what the process of it is at the moment. So, if anyone remembers, I went to Benidorm February last year and I took loads of photos. I had a few ideas written down in my sketchbook and drawn out and always loving little bits and pieces in between, and I eventually came back to it. Now I did do a piece involving the landscape, like the entire seascape of Benidorm, repetition if I get the words out, watercolour drawing that I really did love and took a lot of time and process into it, and I just thought, you know what, this is amazing. I really enjoyed this. And some of the others are, once that bit was complete, I was looking through a few more of my photographs and I came across one of sort of like a narrow street with buildings either side, and I was kind of obsessed with the composition. I was like, how am I going to change this? So once I did a kind of experimentation of the landscape of Benidorm, I'll quickly show you where actually. So this is the experimentation piece that actually is available to buy on my Vinted account. So it's just watercolour, well it's just watercolour ink, or just ink actually, with some collage pieces to create this very relaxed natural landscape using bits of paper which I then printed onto more paper. I just got this idea from that, so I went back, used an old piece of paper, ripped it all up, put some ink onto a perspex board and just placed the paper on top to create a collage which I then printed onto paper. I did this twice. Well, actually, I did this 3 or 4 times just using ink. It did not work. You may have seen some of the inks that, well, just turned out to be a massive ink blob, and it was in blue. Didn't get anything out of it, so then I repurposed and redid it again. But this time actually using proper printing ink, and instead of just going straight to blue ink, I did go straight to blue ink. I used blue ink because for some reason I was sticking with the whole blue theme. Printed onto it, realised the transfer wasn't great, so I then coloured it back over with a watercolour pen, and this is the outcome for the first 2. So I'm going to show you the one that has the influence of blue ink in the background, because you can still see sort of what I mean by the shapes and that. So just enjoy this little quick preview. So this is in a 40 by 50 frame. Where the black is where it's been printed on from the blue, and it's created this lovely gravelly and graphite look about it. You can see how, oh god, I've got to get myself into the screen. You can see how landscapey it is, and just how those blocks of colour have really just lifted this up. The next one, it has no influence of blue. It is just purely the print onto cream paper from a sketchbook. Now, depending on what you prefer, on some days I prefer this version and some days I prefer the other version. It is very much more standalone, which is kind of nice, because when it does stand alone it makes it way more interesting. So with those 2, love the composition, but I wanted to step it up a notch, so I went away, took all the individual pieces of paper off of the perspex board. So those 2 pieces there, that composition is unique. You cannot replicate it, even down to the centimetre. You cannot replicate it. So that what makes them quite unique. I then I went away, put ink back onto my perspex with black ink, put all the little bits of paper back on and worked out our composition and reprinted onto 3 pieces of paper. Now all 3 of them have the blue ink background with an influence, but 2 of them do have yellow single line through it. I don't know why I wanted to add this. It was just something that came to mind and I just thought it'd just up it a bit. Now, I can say that only one of these have actually worked to the point where I'm happy with it. The other 2 aren't quite there yet, but that can be easily resolved by going back over watercolour pen. I just have to wait for them to dry. So these are actually wet, so I will be very careful on how to pick these up and handle them. So the first print didn't actually work at all. None of the ink pressed onto it because it took me a few days from putting on a piece of paper on to then printing onto that paper itself. And this is what's come out of it. Some of it you can see the shapes and the overall outcome, but like I said, it does need refining. So he's got that usual centerpiece where the yellow is, that's the corridor section. What is quite nice about this is kind of like rediscovering the print as well. When you go back over with a watercolour pen and redefine all the areas, you realise how much better it becomes because it is becoming that black. But as you can, like that contrast, that black that is creating. As you can see, 1 out of 3 hasn't worked. I'm just going to show you the other one that hasn't worked before showing you one that I think has worked. To a degree, obviously. We have this one. I think with this one, there was just not enough water sprayed onto it and the pigment had just completely died down. So it does look very blue and there's like a shadow mark over the top of it, which is just sneaked in. But again, that can be easily, can be quite quickly changed and brought back to how it was, which is actually quite a nice process. It's because it's like rediscovering an artwork, really. A bit like archaeology, that's what I like to see, archaeology, because obviously when you get something out of the dirt, it's still got loads of bits of mud and stuff, and you've got to carefully take it away and reveal what is there. So the one that I thought worked the best out of the 3 still does need a little bit of work. It probably just needs a little bit of refining, but you can get the general gist of what I was trying to do. Which is this one. So you can see the general landscape and the shapes of it all. The yellow mark, I wanted a bit more like around here and going up. I don't know why I decided to add it, but you know what, I'm not hating it. It just adds this extra little bit of warmth to the picture. See if I can a bit more. You can see it's a bit more grainy, but that again will just be sorted. So overall, quite happy with this. What actually mostly happens when it comes to any sort of collage print, the first one tends to be actually the best one. So far, I'm going to say yes it is, but I haven't re-edited these 3. So once I've re-edited them, I can then make a decision. If anyone's actually interested, the first 2 that I showed you in the frames are available. The blue version is for £60 and just the black and white is £50 if anyone's interested. It's available on my Vinted account. But yeah, I hope I've done you guys some justice and got you to see a bit more into my life. This is what I'm kind of umming and ahhing about at the moment. I'm trying to spend as much time as I can on my artwork because I don't know if anyone remembers me saying that I have gone from part-time to full-time in my work job. I moved jobs, it's a lot better, the quality of life is there, but it does take a lot more time up now. But I still have enough time for me to focus on my artwork. It's just prioritising my work life on that, as well as having a life for my friends, for my family, having enough time to do the house and etc, etc. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comment section below. I'll do my very best to answer it. If there's anything you'd like to mention, please go ahead. Please like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I will do my very best to keep in the loop of everything. But yeah, thank you guys again. I shall see you later.